Okay guys, now in today's video we're going to go over the weekly custom tactics update. We're going to go through this and we'll go through all the custom tactics and instructions as usual. I just want to very quickly say this video is of course sponsored by my own FIFA School series. FIFA School is a progressive learning system where you can get better at FIFA. It's a progressive learning system with a structured format with loads of videos, and link is down below in the description. In fact, you can sign up now, and if you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money. But loads of videos on there in regards to that. But let's go straight back into tactics. Link is down below in the description and the comment section pinned for that. So now, for my ultra defensive, I have my 4-4-3-3 third variation. Now don't forget I'm using dynamic tactics, so for chemistry purposes. So this is my formation to close the game out. I've already explained to you why I use this instructions for that video, but I want to be narrow. I want to building up slowly so that way players are not running forward when I'm getting pressed by my opponent. We've got chance creation on balance. We don't want to put this on possession, contrary to belief, because possession, if a player comes towards you, you bring your opponent with you and your player comes with you. So when you actually have possession, players that come close to you, your opponents actually come towards you, which in theory adds more, I suppose you can say, more pressure to you. So even though it looks like it makes sense, it doesn't. Especially not unless you're not using L1 triggers. With 70, you want to be wide as possible with the ball to disperse the ball around, kill the game off, and one. And then basically have everyone on comeback and defense, your left, mid, right, mid, stay wide to get the ball to the wide areas, make the pitch as wide as possible. Both CDMs on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking. Left back, right back, stay back while attacking, conservative overlap. And we have the center mid and drop between defenders. What I'll normally do is I'll normally move someone like Dembele, and then what I'll do is just sub Dembele off, and I'll put a center back there, or like a center mid like Atal. And what happens is when you get sent off, he's on drop between defenders, so you end up having a back five when you're attacking for that defensive stability to stop counter attacks. You can pause that. Feel free just to pause, because there's no point in me going over this for each tactic individually. You can check out the videos if you want to. This is a tactic update, so feel free to just copy and paste tactics, or just pause the video and copy the instructions as I go through them. This is updated 4-2-3-1, as I mentioned. These are the exact tactics that I'm using. The only thing that I may change is that I might just put the width down to 60 just for my playstyle, but 65 is fine, as I mentioned in the video. But the only thing that I've done is I put the width to 60, and I still use slow build-up play. It's actually a very, very good system. Balanced slow build-up play is very, very good. As I mentioned, I still use slow build-up play. This is the 4-2-3-1 to use for every segment of the game. Let's say I'm winning 1-0, I'm drawing, or I'm losing. I would stay on this formation, and if I need to change to like an ultra defensive formation, then I go to the 4-3-3. Then to stop the counter attacks, my opponent's overlapping. If, for example, I'm losing, I go 3-5-2. Does that make sense? So the instructions, as I mentioned in the video, they're the exact same. Stay forward, stay central, get it behind. Cam, stay forward, get into the box or across. Lamb and Ram come back in defense, and we left them on balance. And don't forget the cams are conservative, as I mentioned. Both CDMs on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking and cover center. As I mentioned to you, you can leave one of the attacking center mids on balanced. That way he can go forward. But I use the L1 trigger to push them forward manually anyway, so I don't feel the need of actually pushing them. And sometimes I prefer that stability and pushing them forward when I want them to go. And left back and right back, stay back, conservative and overlap again. This is to stop your players from pushing up with the L1 triangle lob through balls in behind. They don't step up, they don't try to intercept the through ball pass. Mainly for stamina, but it's also the through ball or the pass when sometimes they push up. They try to get the ball when there's actually a good chance they won't get it. That is what I'll use. So normally when I start the game, I go straight to this formation immediately. And then what I do is I linger on this formation. Normally, depends on your skill level. If you're like a player like myself, you might set this formation for like all 20 games in the weekend league. If you're sitting then, you're like a rank 4, rank 3 player, you might find yourself 40% on this formation and the other 40% on the 3-5-2 because you're losing most of the time. Now the 3-5-2 is my attacking variation. If you use my 3-5-2 normally, don't bother changing anything. I'm just testing something out for now, so if you want to, you can go ahead and copy these tactics, but if you're watching my videos with my usual 3-5-2, just use that one. I'm just trying direct passing and I'm testing out long ball and balance, so just don't worry about it too much. I'm just testing some things out. But 45, 55 and 65 players in the box is very much balanced, and we have no striker on comeback and offense. The striker to comeback and offense, we don't have that. in this system. So what we do have is we have all three of them on stay forward, stay central, which makes it a very, very attacking formation. Don't get me wrong, but it's what I prefer. Cams on stay forward, get into the box for a cross, left mid, right mid, both on comeback and offense, get in behind and get into the box for the cross. Cross the ball, of course, they get back into the box. It's quite very much useful, especially in a 3-5-2. I still use hug the style lines with this formation. That's one that everyone just completely forgets. Even myself, I forget this in game, so don't forget to use hug the style lines. It's what makes these players even wider. And as I said to you, it's basically a 4-4-2 with a cam. It's basically a 4-1-2-1-2 in the middle with a left mid, right mid, and it's basically a 4-2-3-1 with two strikers. For me, the most attacking formation in the game, the best attacking formation in the game, and of course you have the 2 CDM stability, which is so important. And I think that's why a lot of pros have even gone towards all 2 CDM formation, just because of the cut passing lanes instruction. Both the centre mids, cut passing lanes, rotate cover centre. Again, likewise, you can always put one of these guys and get forward or balanced, but I prefer them both on stay back while attacking, and left centre back, right centre back, the usual default. That is the 3-5-2. As I mentioned, in this formation, you will defend in a back line of 5 and 2 centre mids, and these guys would be on stay forward. If you want, you could put one the strikers on comeback and offense. That way, you'll be defending in a 5-3-1-1. But I just prefer to be a bit more attacking, have the trio up front, so I can just do a diamond pass up against your opponents. Normally 2 centre backs, or at least they're 2 CDMs if they're not beaten. So that is a formation. So what essentially happens, I start the game with the 4-2-3-1. If I end up winning, I normally stay in this formation. Let's say the last 20 minutes or so comes, my opponent starts using team press. He starts having fullbacks join the attack. I don't want to get outnumbered, so then I change to my ultra defensive formation. So this is the one to close the game out. And but if I am drawing, or if it's 1-0 or I'm 1-0 down, and I'm comfortable with this formation, I'm creating chances, I'll stun it. Let's say, for example, I go 2-0 down and I can't get past. I will then change to a 3-5-2 to be even more attacking. And that way, don't forget, it's the best attacking formation in the game. There is no doubt absolute about that. I'm sure you guys have used that already. And then finally we go over to the 4-4-2. This is the 4-4-2 second variation. I like to manually press. I explain this a lot of the time. I just prefer with my playstyle to press manually. So if you want to use constant pressure, by all means be my guest and use it. It's just that for my style of play, I don't need constant pressure. And I think if you can just use the team press D-pad tactics, I think it's you press, I think it's down on your D-pad, I think it's left if I'm not mistaken, down and left, you activate team press. So that is why I just personally prefer it. It's up to you though. I just use team press in game, and I prefer press onto possession loss, because sometimes if I'm 2-0 down, I don't necessarily want to go to let's say a 3-5-2, but I also don't necessarily want to go all out attacking. So the 4-4-2 is kind of like a very good balanced formation, and then I can use team press if I want to. If you want to see how to team press, I got a really good video on my Patreon series actually in regards to that. It's a video from last year actually, in fact, but it's a very interesting video. It's actually from FIFA 20 actually, but the video is so good that there was no need to change it, but I explain completely on how to press. It's very effective. In fact, I'll just quickly show you, just to give an example of how in-depth this video is. It's a 3-part series and it's an hour-and-a-half long. Yes, it has to be that long because I have to explain all the variables individually, but link is down below in the description if, of course, you want to get better at FIFA with my FIFA School Series. Don't forget, it is a money back guarantee, guys. That's something that I can very much confirm to you. So anyway, let's move on. So we have that. Then we have width 70, depth 70, sorry, width 60, long ball forward runs. Now, if I am losing 3 or 4-0, this is important, I will pause the game and put constant pressure on myself manually. Why? It's because the team press button that you can activate in the game is done by a timer. So the team, what the hell was that? So the team press is done by a timer. So when this clock runs out, it takes some time to reset again. So I just prefer to use constant pressure because it's like pressing all the time. So if I am losing 2 or 3-0, I need to get back into the game, and let's say I'm so far away, then I will activate constant pressure. Otherwise, most of the time I'm like this, and then as the game goes on, if I'm losing 1 or 2-0, I'll activate team press, and if I need to, then I'll activate constant pressure. Long ball forward runs, pretty self-explanatory. I've explained this already. Instructions: one of them's on stay central, one of them come back in defense. That way it just helps to press, because to press the ball, you in theory need to be behind the ball. If you have 2 players in front of the ball, it basically makes the press useless, because you have to now bring out your left centre mid, your left mid, or your centre mid. That's what's going to create a hole in your defense or in your midfield and allow your opponent to exploit it. So you want to have, of course, every player in theory behind the ball and press together as a unit. I have 1 player on stay forward, just so I have that essence of, okay, I can always pass the ball to a guy that knows guaranteed forward mark. So it's basically like a 4-4-1-1, you can argue in some way when you're defending. Come back in defense for both left mid, right mid, you get it behind. Don't forget, when you are pressing, you still need to use comeback on defense. Don't put them on stay forward unless you really know how to press like on a very high level. 1 on stay back or take edge of the box, the other one on get forward, get into the box, and conservative. Now, people ask me, can you use second variation? Yes. The second variation is the better 4-4-2 in my opinion. You've got the CDMs, you've got the stability, or you can even use the 4-2-2. I'm actually going to change it to 4-2-2 very, very soon. He'll have a video on that coming up very soon. But with this one, it's centre mid, so they're a bit more attacking, they're a bit more high up the pitch, perfect for pressing. Left back, right back, step back attacking, conservative, and overlap. Same as usual. So what essentially I have is a defensive formation to close the game out. We have an ultra attacking formation if we are losing, and then we have 1 formation for like that's a quite diverse, because don't forget 4-2-1 is still the best formation in the game. There's no doubt about that. And then we have not like an ultra, but like an attacking formation. So you have a balanced one, defensive, balanced, attacking, ultra attacking. And for those of you that still don't understand how this works, this is my team, so I'll show you this is my team. But please go ahead and check my video on dynamic tactics. I'm not actually playing a 4-3-3 in game. I'm just starting in the system, because this gives me the best possible chemistry. In game, I then use dynamic tactics to then change to one of these tactics. And then finally, I also have the anti-kickoff tactic. So my balanced tactic, I don't actually use. But what I do basically is I want to make my balanced tactic anti-kickoff. I just put this everything on balanced, put this on 1. And then you put your instructions on everyone on comeback and offense. I might even put this guy on false 9, so it ends up becoming a false 9. That way it creates more midfield presence. And I put everyone to stay back while attacking here. See that? Stay back while attacking. And stay back while attacking. And then what I do is choose one of these guys. So normally I choose, I put a strategy box as well. I choose, so let's say for example on Yeka. If I want him, I can put him on drop between defenders. And that way when I'm at, put these guys on stay back as well. And that way when I'm attacking, if my opponent kicks off the ball first, I got an anti-kickoff tactic. Do you see what I'm saying? So when the game starts, let's say my opponent kicks off, the formation will be the balanced one, the anti-kickoff tactic. That way I don't, there's 5 people that are in defense when I'm attacking. So if my opponent does come to me, I don't concede a goal. And that way if I go forward, I don't get counter-attack. Then I change to a formation in game. So again, this is for chemistry purpose. I then use my anti-kickoff tactic and I immediately change to one of these formations. Don't forget, it takes about, you have to wait for either ball to go out of play, or it takes like 5-10 minutes for the formation to change in game. Then I choose one of these tactics. I normally go 4-2-3-1. If I'm winning, I stay on this the entire game. If, for example, I am not comfortable and I am, let's say, 1-0 ahead or 2-0, I know my opponent's coming back, then I would use this formation. You see what I mean? Let's say, for example, I'm drawing, and then maybe I go 1-0 down and I'm with the 4-2-1 for like 20 minutes and I still can't get past, then I'll move to the 3-5-2. So that way, if I really, that's if you really can't score here. Then if I'm really in trouble, I need to press, I'm like 2-0 down, I'll then use the 4-4-2. And if I'm 3-0 down, I just turn on team press or constant pressure. Remember, as I mentioned that to you. But anyway, that is how the formation, that's how the chemistry works and everything like that. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget FIFA School Series, link down in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay easy, and of course, I'll catch you next time.